Hey, good day, everyone. I hope everyone's having a wonderful day. I welcome you to Watford City, North Dakota. In North Dakota is going to be located in the western region of the state of North Dakota. It's going to be located north of the Badlands, and it's going to be in McKenzie County. The population here is currently sitting at 6,007 people. It has had a whopping population growth. It has had a population growth of a whopping 255.9%. Sounds impressive, doesn't it? Well, in a second here, for those of you that don't know the history of the city, you're going to find out why the population growth. Matter of fact, I'm going to tell you right now. The primary reason why the population here has grown by almost 256% during the last census, during the 2020 census, is because during the 2010s, the oil boom was going on throughout the United States. So you had a lot of your cities in the western region of North Dakota, along with parts of Louisiana, Oklahoma, and western Texas that have had communities grow like this because of the oil boom. So that's the reason why the population has grown so much as of the 2020 census, because during the 2010s you had the oil boom going on. Because back in 2010, the population here was only sitting at 1,744 people. And just to help prove that the population, that the oil boom during the 2010s was responsible for the massive population growth here, just to help prove that point, in 2021, the year after a lot of things went bad in this country due to politics and due to 19, during that time, as many of you may realize, especially those of you that are watching this video and maybe you used to work in the oil field, or you know people that worked out here in the oil field, a lot of people during 2020 and early 2021 were getting laid off, were losing jobs and all that type of stuff. So by the time they took another population census in 2021, the Watford City's population went from 6,207 people to 5,866 people. That equals a population lost of 5.5% during 2021. Now, despite the fact that this city, as of 2021, appears to be losing people, if you were to come up here and drive around like I'm doing, you would think that, oh man, people are moving here. It's a wonderful thing up here. I mean, you look around, you have all kind of new construction going on. You have all type of road work going on, and you would think it would be a wonderful thing up here. But I'm not saying that Watford City is necessarily a bad place to live, but let's keep on going. And as we keep on going, maybe some of you guys can make up your own mind of whether this is the city for you or not. So let's start out with some basic information about this city. Now, Watford City was founded in 1914, and it was incorporated into a city in June of 1915. Now, it wasn't really a city, it was more so a village. And the city was named by Von G. Morris. He lived from 1879 to 1940. He named this city after his hometown of Watford, Ontario. Now, originally, when he named the city, it was Watford, North Dakota. The city, as you know, they added the city to the name Watford at a later time. And Watford City is where the first Great Northern Railroad train arrived. For those of you that might care about that. Now, as far as things to do here, I mean, there's not really a whole lot to do here in Watford City. If you're looking for entertainment, either here in Watford City or anywhere even close by, good luck. I mean, looking for entertainment up here is kind of like looking for the ocean in the deserts of New Mexico. Good luck. But anyways, as far as it goes for entertainment, you got the Theodore Roosevelt National Park, you got the Northern Unit. So if you're into hiking, you like to be outside, you like to exercise, you got the Theodore Roosevelt Park National Park, and you got the Rough Rider Center. It's a sports complex. You can go there, work out, play basketball, all that fun stuff. I mean, they got the indoor basketball courts and all that stuff. And as far as it goes for entertainment, there's not really much beyond that. And now they do have a park. I mean, it's just a regular city park where you got you got a playground for children. You got that going on, but that's about it. Now, obviously, I'm kind of driving in the outskirt parts of Watford City. I haven't made my way in the heart of town yet. I mean, that would be a little later in the video. I just wanted to give you guys a tour of some of the outskirts of Watford City. And another thing to understand about Watford City is, if you live like the area that you see me driving in right now, kind of the outskirts. I don't know how it is right now, but I remember when I was working the oil field. If you were to go too far outside the city limits, that your internet reception was garbage. Your cell phone reception was garbage. In fact, during the time I was in the oil field, I had to go to a traveling plaza, and I had to buy a amplifier, and I had to buy an amplifier, and I had to put the antenna on top of my work truck in order to have any type of cell phone reception. Because a lot of times you get out here in the country like this, and you would have next to no cell phone reception. So if you had to make a phone call for any reason, good luck. So just so I was able to call out, just so I was able to go online, I had to buy that. I had to buy that booster, and even with the booster, cell phone reception was still lousy. So FYI, if you want to move out here to the outskirts. Now, once you get into town, cell phone reception is it's okay. And if you want to live here in Watford City, your median rent prices are going to go from $770 to $1,680 a month. Your median home price is going to be $319,000, and the cheapest home that's currently on the market for sale, which by the way is pending under contract, is $220,000. And if you go on realtor.com and you look at the houses for sale in Watford City, you will find that for $220,000, you're not getting a damn thing special. It's just, the houses. Now, some of the houses do look nice, but other than that, it's nothing special. Now, as far as your crime is concerned, for violent crime, you got 29% above the national average. For property crime, it's 9% above average. which is not bad. Now, back during the oil field days, the crime here, from what I understand, used to be a little higher. Now, I will say, I never had any issues up here in concerns of any criminal activity. And my co-workers, to my knowledge, they never had no issues. I mean, basically, we go to work, we work our 14-hour days on average, and then we come back to the apartments and basically sleep because we tired as hell. So as far as crime, we never, none of us never really had an issue out here. And as far as your racial demographics are concerned, then you got 86.5% white, 3.6% Native American, 8.7% Hispanic. And even though we have not made it into the heart of the city yet, I'm going to go ahead and tell you how I feel about Watford City. I mean, technically we are in Watford City, we're just not in the heart of the city. Now, these houses you guys are looking at right now, but no, these aren't houses. These are actually, I don't know what they call them, zero lot line properties, duplexes, condos. Fuck, I don't know. But if you, I don't know if these are for sale or if they're simply just for rent. I'm not sure. But I would say if they're for sale, something like that will probably run you well over 300 grand because they're newer construction. If they're for rent, I'm gonna guess that the monthly rent prices are gonna be maybe, I don't know, $1,800 a month. I'm just guessing. If you know for sure, drop a comment below. So like I said earlier, when it comes to living in Watford City, now the only real reason why this city has grown so much is because of the oil boom during the 2010s. Now, unless we have another oil boom, or unless we at least start drilling more oil in this region of North Dakota, I predict by the next census, rather than seeing numbers that reflect a positive population growth, you're going to start to see numbers that are going to reflect a population decline. I mean, because basically in Watford City, there's not really anything to do. And when it comes to the local economy here, the economy here is primarily based on the oil industry. Now you do got other, so basically, Watford City is one of those type of cities where, for the most part, your economy is gonna be based off of energy. I mean, there's not really a whole lot going on here. I mean, the closest city to here, and it's not even a metro, it's just a smaller city but bigger than this one, is Williston, which is about an hour from here. It's about an hour east. The population of Williston is a little over 27,000 people. So other than that, there's not really, Watford City is basically one of those small cities that are located in the middle of nowhere. I mean, you really have nothing out here. I mean, that's the best way that I can describe this city. And in my humble opinion, people that choose to live out here, people that choose to purchase homes out here, are overpaying for their homes immensely. Now, given the type of renters you have in this region of the country, you're not going to want to have to get up and drive an hour on these type of roads to work. So I think one reason why a lot of people choose to purchase homes and live here in Watford City, where their job may be located, is because they're not trying to have to drive an hour into, Williston. Because I mean what I mean because I mean I would like to say that if you're working in Watford City in one of the nearby oil fields, I mean, before I began to record this video, I was fixing to say that I personally rather live in Williston than Watford City. But then when I got to thinking about the harsh winters that they have in this region of the country, because in western North Dakota, typically you're going to get the type of snow that's going to blow all over the place, causing massive whiteout conditions. And it's going to be so bad to where when you're driving, you're going to barely be able to see what's in front of you, especially if you have to drive super early in the morning, or you have to drive later at night when it's dark. So take the darkness, mix it up with a little bit of snow, and then on top of that snow, add a little bit of fog from the mountains, and your driving conditions are going to be very poor at best. I mean, me personally, if for some reason you know somebody in the oil field, and maybe there's a job opening and you're getting ready to come up here because of that job, my suggestion would be is, if you're able to get into a position to where maybe you come up here and you work 3 to 6 weeks straight, 7 days a week type of deal, and then you get to go, and then you off for a week or two, and then during that time you get to go home to your family. I mean, honestly, if I were you, I would keep your residence at whatever state you come from, whatever state you're living in currently. If you're watching this video and you're looking at moving up here to Watford City, or you're looking at moving up here to this region, if you're looking to move up to this region of North Dakota, I honestly would have it to where, go ahead, keep your home in your current state, keep your family in your current state. You come up here, you put that work and you get your money, you take care of your family if you have one. And then whenever you get your week or two off, just go ahead and buy your plane ticket and fly back to your home state. I mean, if I was you, that's what I would do. Now, if you're like me, you're single, you have no kids, you're not married. I mean, I don't care if you were married, but especially if you have no kids, I definitely wouldn't move here. Cause like I said, there's not shit up here. I mean, basically, you're in the middle of nowhere, and for 8 months out the year, you're gonna basically be up here stuck in an ice box, where your temperatures on a regular basis are gonna be in the negatives during the winter. And I mean, there's just nothing up here. In my humble opinion, the housing prices up here are immensely overpriced. I mean, for me, there's no way in hell that I would pay over $200,000 to live up in this ice box. Man, y'all got me fucked up. The same. You wouldn't catch me doing nothing like you wouldn't catch me living up here with that kind of money. I couldn't bring myself to do it. Now, I get that a lot of the jobs up here do pay quite well. I mean, if you work in the oil fields, if you work in a position that's related to oil, for the most part, you'll be earning a decent amount of money. A lot of folks who live up here take home a 6-figure income if they're in the oil field. which is excellent money. But I guess if you're taking home a 6-figure income and you manage your money conservatively, you're frugal and all that good stuff. If you come up here and you buy a house for, let's say, $300,000, and you outside your housing, if you were to live off of maybe, I don't know, if you were to live off of maybe, let's say, $30,000 a year, if you're by yourself, or if you got a family, live off of maybe 60, and you take 40 to 60 grand and you put it towards paying off your house. If you're smart, that's what you would do. Then $300,000 to live up here is extremely doable. But me personally, for $300,000, they can have it. I'd rather take a position that doesn't require me to have to stay up here full time. I'd rather take a position where, hey, work me, 6 weeks straight, give me 2 weeks off, and during those 2 weeks off, I'm dipping. And then whenever I get burnt out, whenever I get my money up, I'll leave the oil field and I'll find something else at home. I mean, if you're watching this video and you got you a job and you're getting ready to go into the oil field because you got mad connections, that's what I would do if I were you. Now, I do believe eventually that this region of the country will begin to drill again. How much, I don't know. But during that time, if you come across this video, just remember what I'm telling you guys right now. If I was you, I wouldn't move here. I wouldn't buy a house for $300,000. My attitude is come up here, get your money, get your bag, and keep your family and keep your residence in your current home states. When I was up here working the oil field at that time, my primary residence was in Indiana. And when I came up here and started working, I got to thinking, it's like, nah, I'm not about to move up here from Indiana. No, thank you. I much rather keep my residence in Indiana than to come up here. There were a lot of people that decided to move up here. They decided to purchase houses because they didn't want to have to fly or drive long hours to their home on their days off. On their days off, they figured if they were here, they can take that time and do other stuff. That's very understandable. Now, unfortunately, a lot of those guys that did that, either A, they probably had their homes foreclosed on when they got laid off their jobs, or B, they may have been lucky enough to find something else that paid decent to where they can keep their home and they can stay up here. But if you come up here and you buy a house, just bear in mind, the bulk of the economy here in Watford City is based off of the oil industry. The economy up here is not diverse at all. And even if you drop and if something happens to your job in the oil industry and you have to get to another job, like I told you a couple of minutes ago, the closest slightly larger city to here is going to be Williston, North Dakota, which that city's only got a little over 27,000 people. There is no major metro area that's close to here. The next closest city that's a little larger is Minot, but you're talking over 2 hours away from here. So I say all this just to let you guys know that there is no areas that have a diversified economy that's close to here. So basically, if you choose to move here, I hope your job in the oil industry goes wonderful, because if it doesn't, you're going to have to sell your home and relocate. Now I will say, when I came here to record the video, I mean, after what I saw in Midland, Texas, or what happened in Midland, once many of the rigs closed down. Like, you go into Western Texas, many of those cities right now are ran down. You know, you got a bunch of old beat up trailers sitting around, and you know, you got a lot of places over there that are just ran the hell down. I mean, it almost looks like a third world country up there. It almost looks like a third world country over there. So when I came here to Watford City and I saw this, which I will say, Watford City is still holding it down. The city still looks good. You know, you got a lot of new construction going on. The downtown here looks good. I mean, I do gotta take my hat off to Watford City, because Watford City still looks good. But like I said, the main disadvantage of living here is the economy here is not at all diverse. And in my humble opinion, housing prices are way too high. I personally cannot justify paying $300 and some odd $1,000 for a house up here. And even in the $300,000 range, you're not getting anything special. You're definitely not going to get no mansion up here for that price. For that price, you'll get a basic house. Maybe the house might be 1,500 square feet. If you're lucky, you might have maybe a third of an acre. But but for the most part, for that price, you are getting nothing special. Now, if you get a job up here and you don't want to have to drive or fly super far on your days off, if you do happen to get on with the oil field up here, if you want to live not too far away, my suggestion would be is if you want to live in North Dakota, even though I wasn't all that impressed with Bismarck, I would say, you know, go check out Bismarck. At least in Bismarck, the economy is a lot more diverse. And housing prices in Bismarck are actually a little cheaper compared to here. Not by much, but just a little. But at least in Bismarck, the economy is a little bit more diverse. Or two, go check out Fargo. Again, Fargo, the houses are a little cheaper and the economy up there is more diverse. Another place you can go check out is Grand Forks. And I got videos of all those cities, so feel free to go check those videos out on this channel. Or another solution is go check out some of the cities throughout South Dakota. I mean, honestly, if you ask me, I think South Dakota, all in all, is a better state to live than North Dakota. Because in South Dakota, in many parts of South Dakota, I mean, if you move somewhere in the western region of South Dakota, at least over there, I mean, for one, the economy, like if you move to South Dakota, let's say you move to Rapid City. Now, Rapid City is not necessarily the best thing that South Dakota has to offer, but at least if you move to Rapid City, again, it's a much bigger city than any cities around this region of North Dakota. Secondly, Rapid City has a economy a little more diverse than what you'll find around this region of North Dakota. And thirdly, when it comes to entertainment, South Dakota has a lot more to do than North Dakota. And although South Dakota is cold as ice like it is up here, people who are natives of South Dakota say that the cold in South Dakota is not as bad as North Dakota, which, and it makes sense. Or two, you can always check out other parts of South Dakota, like, you can check out, you can check out Sioux Falls. I mean, Sioux Falls from here is not too terribly far. I mean, in fact, let's look it up. I'm going to look it up real quick on my phone. Watford City, North Dakota to Sioux Falls, South Dakota.
Sioux Falls is 8 hours, 39 minutes from Watford City by current traffic.
Okay, well, I may have misspoke. I mean, you're looking at about 9 hours away. So that's not exactly a hop, skip, and a jump. But depending on what state you're coming from, if you're coming from, let's say, Ohio, and you're coming up here, 8 hour, 8.5 hours is going to be a hell of a lot shorter of a drive compared to driving or flying if you were coming from, let's say, Ohio. So it all depends. I guess it's perspective in that at that point. But my point of the matter is, I personally would not buy a house here in Watford City. I just wouldn't. There's nothing here. The economy is not diverse. And basically, this is a small city located in the middle of nowhere. So, like I said, if you don't want your family too far away from you, there's other places throughout North Dakota that you can look around for housing, which the housing in those areas would actually be a little cheaper, and you can also put your family in a area where the economy is more diverse. That way, if the oil field out here doesn't work for you, or you get burnt out and you quit, or your boss catches you on a bad day and you cuss him out and he fires you, you can at least go to wherever it is you have residency, and you can get a job closer to your home. Alright, folks, that's my thought about Watford City. Hopefully you guys got something out of it. So go ahead and enjoy the rest of the video, and on that note, you guys know what to do. Stay blessed.